As Nick explained a little bit there, it's like if you're a songwriter, you're never not somewhere. You're a songwriter from the moment you get up to the moment you go to sleep. And anything that happens is a song, potentially. Not in a vicious way, but it is, you've got to be kind of switched on to everything. And anything anybody says in conversation, anything you pick up in a book, anything really. And it doesn't really matter how innocuous it may sound to you when you first hear something. But I was just walking into our recording studio at home in Brighton. It was a really nice sunny day, and someone came up to me and said, "A beautiful day." I went straight in and I sat down and wrote. What a beautiful day, I'm here all the time. Nothing is impossible in my own powerful mind. It's on the 5th of November, the time I went by. Some say that that's impossible, but you and I will never look back. Yeah, wasn't it incredible? So beautiful and above all, to see you with this time to light a real bonfire for all time. And what a beautiful day, I'm the king of all time. There's nothing's impossible in my own powerful mind. When I was drinking in my nightclub, it felt good to be back. When that fruit said I love you, then he said make mine a double jack. Then we planned the revolution to make this better for all time. When Cajon said it's crazy, we ordered up a bottle of wine. And what a beautiful day, I'm the king of all time. There's nothing's impossible in my own powerful mind. Oh, what a beautiful day, I'm the king of all time. Nothing's impossible in my own powerful mind. And they're on the big screen. Every night I've seen the way that all things should be. Yeah. For me, yeah. For me, for me, for me. While the news broke out to midnight, we pulled the towers down without sound. The generals, they were hiding out the minister as well. Then all got turned around. And the wealthy distribution became the new solution. I gotta take my back, you got the one with all the bones. But what a beautiful day, I'm the king of all time. There's nothing's impossible in my own powerful mind. What a beautiful day, I'm the king of all time. And nothing's impossible in my own powerful mind. Oh, nothing is impossible in my own powerful mind. There's nothing is impossible in my own powerful mind. Questions are good. Yeah. Anything really helps. Reason to be first again. That one. That was one of those. It happens occasionally, as Nick says. It does happen sometimes. That was about as long as it took me to sing it.
Sometimes they're the best ones though, aren't they? Ones that just come to you like that.
It's
The ones that
pretty
you
rare.
labour over for ages and ages and ages. Personally, I've always found I end up abandoning those.
Yeah.
And the better ones, the ones that come to you overnight or whatever, they just kind of fall out, as it were.
Like that one.
Find that, did you find that?
That one did. And it was, yeah, it was lucky. It was like, but I didn't like it because it was so quick. But someone was walking past and went, that's your one. And I went, it's rubbish though. Like, really? Yeah. And you went, no, that's it. So we recorded it on PS down there. But I preferred like to labour over something, to perfect it, you see. and they can be great as well, but yeah, you can go too far as well.
I just find the ones that kind of happen quicker just feel to me a bit more natural. If I have to sit there and mull it over and I end up just thinking to sod that. You hit a writer's block kind of thing. Unless it kind of comes to you naturally, for me anyway.
Well, it's also, of course, isn't it? For me, if they come quickly like that, I've only had probably 3 out of, 150 songs that have come to me in half an hour, and they've been fairly done there and then. Most of the others take months, and some take. That last Juicy Fruit Girl. Well, I Juicy Fruit Girl. I wrote down in that book 15 years ago, and I've been reading Juicy Fruit Girl for those 15 years. When I go to the book, no.
All right.
And so it's also everyone's different ways of doing it.
I've got a book similar.
Yeah,
Full of
good.
bits and pieces.
Yeah, it's a good little trick.
Which is where I normally end up referring to when I get to one of those songs that takes ages.
Yeah, right. But it's part of your toolkit.
Yeah.
Having that stuff for all that time, as well as, I think the thing is songwriting isn't sitting down with a blank piece of paper. Right, it's songwriting time. It's 3:10. I'm going to write a song. It's like Mark said, it's all day. That's a lot easier if it's all day, and you got your.
Just don't switch off. Everything's a potential song.
Yeah.
Every experience that you experience.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The more you experience, the more chances.
The more you've got to write about.
Exactly.
Yeah, we had a guy ask us about. He was obviously had a real conscience about the world and was discussing what's going on and talking about the war in Afghanistan and seeing it on the news. But he lived like a couple of miles from Wootton Bassett, where they brought in, the coffins went by with all the families there. But he never went to see it, and to experience that firsthand, it would have smacked him through, and he would have. Well, I would have assumed you might have been able to come up with an idea about it more easily than
Bigger inspiration.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you one question. When you write a song, do you clear how it goes in your head when you write a song? And do you play the tune, or do you get the words first, then play the tune to it? Or how do you do it? Or how do you do it?
Mostly, it comes from just messing about on the guitar, just to start with, and finding something different that suits the mood you're in. And then it's a section of chords, and then it's just start singing. That's what I do. I start singing, press record on anything that's around, on the phone now, before it's a dictaphone or whatever. And then you start singing words, any words, it doesn't really matter. You just go for it. Find the melody. Basically, you're looking for the melody with the words that come to your head, the words that fit this melody that you've come through. And keep going as long as you can. And then I'll switch it off and go to something else for 5 minutes, come back, have a listen. And quite often I'm surprised to find that I've actually come up with whole lyrics that I haven't consciously thought. I've just come from the other side of my brain where I'm storing information. I've just let it do what it does, swapping sides basically. So it comes to the conscious mind and it's sort of there. And some of it will be great, some of it will be rubbish, sometimes it's all good, sometimes nothing, but it doesn't really matter, because you might find the melody and you can labour over the lyrics. But that sort of shapes, that's a good way to do it for me. Yeah.
It's similar. I was just going to say, before I forget, I have to say things these days while they're in there, otherwise they've gone. I think a word that's come, there's an undercurrent here at the moment, is listening. Like, listening to yourself, listening to other people. Being a good conversationalist is being a good listener. Being a good songwriter is also being a good listener to, and hearing ideas come in, letting them come, rather than having that voice at the front of your head that's on attack mode all the time, And the same goes for when you're playing, or when I'm playing guitar. Sit back and listen to what's happening, rather than working out some theory about where it should go next, because it did last time, or that's what you read, or you saw someone else do that. you know, it's just taking a back seat with your brain and letting your fingers and your heart or whatever, or soul or whatever, take over, whatever you want to call it, subconscious maybe if you're into it. But songwriting itself, so I tend to, I sit in the garden and play for the pleasure of playing, and I'll make a mistake or just drift somewhere by accident, you know, and then find some chords that sort of want to be together. I've got no theory whatsoever, so I have to rely on feeling, you know, and ears. And then when we found some chords that go together, a melody will come. It might not be right, but it will be close. And then Mark says, you know, take a break and come back and listen.